welcome back to another episode of... welcome back. It's Friday. Today's session is jumps, hang cleans, jerks, clean pulls, and then some accessory work. Monday, we did box jumps with an approach, meaning you kind of like walk into that jump, build a little bit of momentum as you're going in. Wednesday, we did box jumps from that deep angle, so single leg from that kneeling position up onto the box. Today, we're gonna do it from what I would consider like a mid position. So the seated position puts you pretty close to 90 degrees at the hip and the knee, and then you do your seated box jump onto whatever boxes you have available. The reason I'm breaking it up this way is Mondays are gonna be kind of lower joint angle jumps. So when you do that approach jump, let's say you take a step and then you're gonna be jumping from about this position from the knee and then from the hip. Wednesday, we had that deeper angle. So I was in this position here, foot was on a plate, a lot deeper of an angle from a more flexed position at the knee and a more flexed position at the hip by bringing my torso forward. Today, we're gonna be at that mid position. So seated position here, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. When I do my seated box jumps, I kind of like to roll through my heel onto the toe and then jump from there. Some people like to pick their feet up, stomp into the ground as they do it. Some people like to keep their feet flat on the ground and go from a more static position and just jump. I like to kind of roll into it just because I feel like I get a little bit more of a pop off the ground. So we got 4 sets of 3 to do. The rest between this is just rest as needed. 4 sets of 3 on the box jumps. I'm gonna knock these out first. Alright, now, when I do my box jump, I know I've said this before, but I feel like I have to always kind of reiterate this because people don't understand that the box isn't the goal. The box is there to lessen the impact from landing onto the ground. That way you're not kind of banging up your joints as much. So obviously I can jump much higher than this. My standard rule for box jumps is I never want to land below parallel. So I never want to be jumping onto a box and having to pick myself up or pick my legs up in order to make it on top of that box. It kind of defeats the purpose. You're more focused on making it to the top of the box than trying to jump as high and hard as you possibly can. So when doing a box jump, I like to keep that rule. 2 reasons. One, it's safer. So if you start stacking up boxes and trying to jump up onto a box as high as you can, eventually you're gonna get to that point where it's gonna get scary and you're gonna possibly clip your feet on the front. And that's not something you wanna do. Obviously I have soft boxes, so if you were to fail a box and hit your shin here, it's not going to hurt. But if you don't have soft boxes, let's say you have metal boxes or wood boxes, you know, you just put yourself at risk of scraping up your shins as you go. The second reason is, let's say I'm building up and I am trying to go to a higher box. If I'm constantly landing above parallel, then I get to the point where I need to pick my knees up. That's a safety fail kind of way to do it, to where you have that little bit of extra room. Catch yourself in a lower position if you have to, in case you are going a little bit too high. But more or less, the box isn't the goal. The box is just there to kind of lessen the impact. So I'm always trying to jump as high as I can and land into an athletic position on top of the box. So I've got 3 more sets of 3, and then we're gonna knock out some hang cleans today. Alright, so first up today, hang power cleans. I'm going to be doing 15 total repetitions in sets of 2 to 4. So what I'm thinking I'm going to be doing is 3 sets of 4, 1 set of 3 in order to get those 15 reps done. It's going to be at 110, so it's not going to be very heavy today. As you can see, I'm wearing straps and I'm doing cleans, which terrifies a lot of people. The only time I will ever use straps on cleans is if I'm doing hang power cleans for multiple repetitions. And if I'm doing like 1s and 2s, I probably won't be using straps. If I'm doing 3s and 4s, I'll use straps. A lot of people don't like using straps on cleans. One of the main reasons is, I don't know how many years ago it was probably 5, 6 years ago. There was a lifter using straps on cleans, missed the clean, fell backwards, and because he was strapped in, he couldn't drop the bar, ended up hitting both of his elbows on the ground and breaking both wrists because he was wearing straps. Ever since that happened, people are terrified to use straps and cleans. There's a risk to doing anything, and you gotta assess, is the risk worth going for whatever it is that you're trying to do. For hang power cleans, at lighter weights, multiple repetitions, straps are 100% okay. I have no fear of using straps for hang cleans. The other part for using straps is because you're strapped onto that bar, you're not gonna be able to kind of relax that hand and catch it like you normally would. So you've gotta have good wrist, shoulder mobility in order to maintain that front rack position while holding onto the bar. I have the ability to do that pretty well, so I'm gonna be using straps on all my cleans today. We'll only have a 60-second rest in between, so it's gonna end up getting, pretty difficult. But like I said, multiple repetitions, lighter weights, hang power cleans, straps are 100% okay. There you go. Jerks are next. Same setup, 15 total reps in sets of 2 to 4. So probably gonna do the same thing. 4, 4, 4, and then 3. Behind the neck. Probably gonna keep these power. I'm only at 115, which isn't very heavy for me. So I'll probably keep all these power jerks. I forgot that last set was only going to be 3. Done with the jerks. Moving on to clean pulls. We've got 24 total pulls at 147, and they're going to be done in sets of 3 to 6. I'm going to warm up for those again. Probably, I would like to do 6s. We'll see how it feels with that 1 minute rest. I'll at least do the first 2 sets in 6. And then I might drop it down to 3s and 4s after that. Another thing, normally on lighter jerks I don't use wrist support, but I'm still trying to get used to these Onyx straps. They're getting more comfortable as I wear them. I think the reason is because they're leather. So when I first got them, they were really stiff and they almost hurt my wrist to use. But now that I've worn them a little bit and like sweated in them, it's kind of breaking in a little bit. It's starting to feel more comfortable. Not quite sure if I like them yet. We'll see as the weights get heavier if they stay comfortable. But not sponsored by them. They didn't give me those. I bought them because I wanted to find some new wrist wraps. Jury's still out. We'll figure it out. I did 6s across the board. Man, that will take the breath out of you. 4 sets of 6, 1 minute rest in between. Whew. I really like today's setup. Box jumps, power cleans, jerks, pulls. Last thing we got for today is dumbbell rows. So I'm gonna do a variation that I learned from my friend Jordan Shallow and Coach James Mack. You might have heard of Jordan. He's the muscle doc on Instagram. I was down in Miami for Wadapalooza in January. Jordan lives down in Miami. We linked up, we got a few sessions in. It was really fun to kind of go through their style of training because they do more bodybuilding, hypertrophy type stuff. And I do a little bit of that, but I don't do it the way that they do it. Like the intent that they have in their program is amazing. The variation I'm gonna do today is what I did with them down in Miami. All right, so this is the setup. Take a bench, put it at an incline. You're gonna be resting your offhand or your forearm on that bench. The idea here, not using any kind of rotation. You wanna stay as still as possible, just doing that row on the one arm. So, I like to get into like a real leaning position, putting most of my weight on that forearm, get a split stance, and then alright, so I have 3 more sets of that to do. I appreciate you guys watching the video. I apologize for the editing. The person I had editing the videos, who is extremely good at this kind of stuff, ended up getting swamped with work. He was doing all my edits and stuff for free. And now that like the CrossFit season is starting, that's where he does a lot of his work. So he just got so overwhelmed with work with all the semifinals and things coming up that he's not able to kind of edit my videos for me. So I'm doing this, and I am not an expert in this at all. I'm a very novice editor, so I literally just put the clips in and then just cut out what I don't want and then upload the video there. So hopefully you guys aren't here expecting the greatest edit of all time, and that the content and the training is kind of the focus on that. So that's today's session. I got a few more sets on the dumbbell rows. Appreciate you guys for watching, and hopefully knock out another 2 to 3 videos next week. Keep this thing rolling. Peace.